It's wet here today and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, and Piastri. Russell, Albon, Hülkenberg, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Sainz, Ocon, Liam Lawson, and Gasly. Doohan, Stroll, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Isaac Hadjar. Behrman and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, we might be at the back of the grid and it's not the best place to start, but keep your chin up and push hard. It's Formula One. Anything can happen. Nice move, keep going. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Difficult strategy today.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action. Next up, we'll set the grid for the Grand Prix. So we'll see you next time. Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
fantastic. You've got pole position.
Everyone, you guys, make it work.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Piastri, Carlos Sainz, and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Lawson, and Yuki Tsunoda, Leclerc, Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Albon, Antonelli, Behrman, Jack Doohan and Nico Hülkenberg, Bortoletto and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend. Anthony Davidson. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them. And in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require.
But that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you. And, you know, you want to further your career the best you can. But you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. DRS now enables. DRS enables. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, Lewis, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
That was a tough race, guys.
And as we've said so many times in the past, the checkered flag is out for our winner, Lewis Hamilton.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
It's been a hard afternoon of brilliant racing, but now it's time for some proper celebrations. The podium awaits. And back on the top spots that he's taken so often in the past. So well done to Lewis Hamilton. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.